Donald Trump is still 2 weeks short of completing the first 100 days as the US president.
But in less than 3 months, lawsuits have piled up. Protests are a common sight. Sensitive information has been mistakenly leaked to a journalist. World leaders are scrambling for meetings. The markets are facing uncertainty, and talks on 2 ongoing wars still uncertain.
Well, that's a long list for the first 100 days itself. But has Trump bitten off more than he can chew? Much has happened in the last 24 hours itself. The US has decided to increase tariffs on China to 245%. And this comes after China asked its airlines to suspend orders for jets from the American giant Boeing. There is no clarity on when the two sides will come to the negotiation table. And the White House remains steadfast that it is China that has to come make a deal with the US and not the other way around.
And while the tensions remain high between the two superpowers, Japan's delegation is on a US visit to negotiate the reciprocal tariffs that Trump first implemented on the 2nd of April and halted for 90 days to allow countries to make deals.
But within the last 2 weeks, markets have witnessed a bloodbath and economists are projecting a recession for the US. And that was trade. Let's now come to the wars that Trump promised to stop, and some even within 24 hours. In the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, talks are still at very early stages for a proposed ceasefire.
Just last week, US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff was in Moscow to meet top Russian leadership and Putin himself. While the president says that Russia is open to peace, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said reaching an agreement will not be easy.
On the other hand, Ukraine says it has made inroads with US on the rare earth minerals deal, but there is still no clarity on when the agreement will be signed. In the Israel-Hamas war now, let's talk about that. Getting both sides to agree on a truce deal has been a challenge for the US days after Witkoff said that Washington was very close to secure the release of the hostages still held captive by Hamas. Hamas rejected a proposal sent by Israel via mediators.
Then there is the impasse with Iran. Both Washington and Tehran have made big statements on what they will and will not negotiate during the nuclear talks.
Now, these were international issues. Let's next talk about domestic issues for the US. There are over 70 active lawsuits against Trump and his administration. A federal judge has rebuked Trump over the return of a migrant wrongly deported to El Salvador. The judge has said there is no evidence that the Trump administration tried to secure Kilmar Abrigo Garcia's return.
Bring Kilmar home! Bring Kilmar home! Bring Kilmar home! They try to separate us!
Now, before the hearing, dozens of protesters outside the courthouse chanted "Bring Kilmar home" as they listened to his wife urge the United States and El Salvador to return him. The Trump administration previously admitted that Abrigo Garcia was deported to El Salvador due to an administrative error. The president was ordered to facilitate his return, an order upheld by the Supreme Court. But his government has not yet asked El Salvador to return him.
Now, to top it all, the US president has gone on a tirade against Harvard University for rejecting to follow administration's orders that aim at restricting activism on the campus. Trump's administration has frozen grants worth $2.2 billion and contracts worth $60 million.
Donald Trump himself called for Harvard University to be taxed like a political entity and referred to the institution as a joke on his social media platform, Truth Social.
When Donald Trump was inaugurated as president, he promised to end the wars within 100 days and sweeping reforms that will make America great again. With 14 days left to go to the deadline, the question is, can he still